YouTube, it's Annabelle. So, since my daughter's 1-year birthday is fast approaching, I have been thinking a lot about the past and everything we've learned in the last year and all the crazy things that we've been through and all the just magical fun moments, and it made me think of all of the parenting tips that we got either while I was pregnant or since she's been born. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ones, like the tips that have actually worked for us this last year. And I just want to briefly touch on all of them, and I'm going to try to get this done before my battery dies. So I'm going to try to talk as much as possible. Okay, or as fast as possible. Okay, so one thing that a parenting tip that has worked for us. Okay, sleep train starting as the day that you bring them home. We started doing this the day that we brought her home, and the whole purpose of it was to train your baby to sleep through the night. And not like sleep for only 5 hours. It was to sleep through the night, like actually like have a full night's sleep. And so the whole point of it was to teach her that sleep is for nighttime and that kind of stuff. So what we did for this is we would keep her up like during the day and just stimulate her as much as possible and like during the day. And then at nighttime, so if she would wake up during the night, we would keep the stimulation like at a almost 0 point. We would hold her when we fed her. We would change her diaper if it needed, but we didn't talk to her. We kept the lights down low. It was not playtime. So that's how we kind of worked that out. She has slept through the night since she was 4 weeks old. We were so very excited that she sleeps through the night, and when she doesn't sleep through the night, which happens probably, I would say here lately, it's happened probably one day at least a month. She had high temperatures here this last week, didn't sleep very well for 3 days in a row. We did some troubleshooting with that, but other than that, like, if she doesn't sleep through the night, we're like, what is going on? Something is going on. So the second thing is not getting excited about falls, or bumps or bruises or that kind of stuff. We don't get excited or freaked out or go or anything like that when she falls down, unless we do act concerned when she is bleeding, or if she like terribly injures herself. So when she falls, we make sure that she's okay, obviously. But if she's bleeding, like, we take care of it. Or if she has like a major fall, like one day she just went straight into the corner of a doorway, and it was pretty bad. So stuff like that. But for little falls, like if she just falls over on her bum, we don't get excited or freak out about it or anything like that. Okay, so the next thing is breastfeed as long as you can. And we're going to do this with our next child, and I'm so happy that we breastfed with our daughter. And the key words in that is as long as you can. That was my goal starting off, is that I was going to do it as long as I could. Whether it was a week, whether it was 2 weeks, whether it was 2 months, whether, however long it lasted. I just wanted to, just do it as long as I could. Now, I have a new goal for myself, and that's to make it to a year with our next child. But then again, we will see how everything works out. You never know how things are going to work out. But if we have to do formula with our next kid, that's fine, because we're currently doing formula with her. So, let's see. The next thing is have a schedule, but remain flexible. So, and I know some people are just like, well, if you're flexible, that's not having a schedule. Well, I don't think so. I think that if you have a schedule, you can still be flexible on it. We wake up, like, even if it's on a weekend, we wake up generally in the same time frame. We eat generally in the same time frame. She gets changed generally in the same time frame. So everything kind of happens for us in the same time frame. But we are flexible. So if my husband gets off of work an hour later, or if he gets off work an hour earlier, we adjust to that. If we have a play date, we adjust to that. If we have to go grocery shopping, or if we have to meet somebody for dinner or something like that, our schedule remains pretty flexible, even though it's still a schedule. The next thing would be have confidence in your decisions as a parent. Everyone has something to say. Everyone has advice to give you, and everyone seems to know way better than you how to raise your kid. And there's lots of YouTube moms that have their own sayings about parenting and all that stuff. But mine, what I always have to say is, if you are making a decision that is the best for your family, then you are 100% correct. And it doesn't matter what the decision is. If it is best for your family, then it's right. There are so many people who tried to convince me that cloth diapers weren't the way to go, or that homemade baby food was just more effort than what it was worth. And I've had tons of comments that like, oh, you're not going to know what to do with yourself once you're a work-at-home mom. You have to have confidence in your decisions. And, you just have to do research and find out what's best for your family and then do it. Because the best decisions for our family have been the ones that other people have tried to convince me that they weren't the right decision, such as cloth diapers, such as making my own baby food, and being a work-at-home mom. My next thing is interact as much as possible. I think that every second of the waking day is a time to be interacting, to be talking to your child, to be striving for bigger and better and to do more, and also having the downtime. Because even in the downtime, you can still be interacting, you can still be learning without being forceful. I do push my daughter for about a total of an hour a day, which we usually split it up into 15-minute increments where I'm working with her on something. Before, she knew how to wave. Every day I would kind of work with her a little bit on waving. Every day I would work with her a little bit on clapping. Every day I would work with her a little bit on shaking her head no. Things like that. I do push her where it's not a naturally occurring thing, where we actually sit down and work on something. But that brings me to my next thing, which is look ahead and always be prepared. I think it's important to, even we're at 1 year. Well, right now I am researching 1 to 2 years and 2 to 3 years, because I want to be prepared when we get there. And I also want to be prepared if something, if the opportunity to learn something happens earlier, then I know where we're kind of going with it and what I want to do and getting ready for that. So look ahead and be prepared. Because before I got pregnant, I was researching pregnancy. When I was pregnant, I was researching the first year. And I still researched the first year until she was probably about 6 months old. And then I had changed my direction in my research to the 1 to 2 years. And now I'm kind of going even further than that and going 2 to 3 years. So let's see, early structure and early discipline. And some people think that discipline is spanking and all that kind of stuff. We are not going to spank our children. We are going to use timeout and other of the various versions of that, like toy timeout instead of child timeout, things like that.